In the previous lesson, we assigned primary keys to our three tables down here, but we have an issue with the primary key of this table. So this table has foreign keys, but it doesn't have primary keys. Let's consider each row first of all. They collected 125 kilos in this instance here, but they could have collected 200 kilos or 500 kilos or any weight of rubbish. This is kind of random data. We have random data for the rubbish collected. Let's see the second row, and this will reinforce your understanding of why we said that this is random here. Now let's check number cleanups in year. They cleaned twice in 2018, twice in 2019. They could have cleaned 3 times, 4 times. So this is random data as well. Random data cannot be used as a form of any kind of key. So what we do is we dismiss these fields here, these attributes. These are called attributes. The headers are called attributes of fields. In the exam, you will see that they refer to them as attributes. So I'm going to put a red line on the rubbish collected that we cannot use, and we cannot use either the number cleanups in a year. Now let's check the review year. If the review year is 2018, can it be a different year? So this is not random data. It's either 2018 or 2019. The year is not random here. When you go and volunteer to clean a beach, you ask what is the year, and they will say only one year, the valid year, 2018 for instance. Now that is more concrete data. This is not random data. Okay? Now let's not eliminate this. Let's not dismiss this column. So let's move on to beach ID. The IDs are concrete data. Beach ID 1 has to be 1 and cannot be anything else. So let's say Billy has ID 3425. That's it. That's his ID. It's concrete data. It's unique data to Bill. In the same manner, the beach ID can only have one concrete piece of data. So beach ID and district ID, for the same reason, is concrete data. Cleanliness rating review, this is random data. So we will eliminate that as well. Now we are left with these fields. Each of them individually cannot be an ID because look, they do not identify each row individually. So for instance, row 1 here, if we take a review year as the ID, 2018 is repeated. You have many rows identified as 2018, so you cannot use review ID as the table's ID. Beach ID the same, it repeats, it's not unique. Look at the tables below. The primary key is unique. 1 does not repeat, 2 does not repeat, 1, 2, 3 do not repeat. The same here. District ID 1, 2, 3, they do not repeat. Foreign keys are allowed to repeat, obviously. Yeah, you can see it here, but primary keys are not. Look at this foreign key. For instance, it repeats. Yeah, 1 repeats twice. Review ID on its own cannot stand for the primary key. Beach ID on its own cannot stand for the primary key. District ID cannot stand on its own as a primary key for the review table. What alternative do we have? And this is what they do. They take 2 or more that can uniquely identify each row. Now watch this. 2018 and 1 here. So let's frame it so that we can see it. As you can see here, 2018 and 1 do not repeat. Look. Look. 2018 and 1. Look. Watch. Look. So what do we have here? We have a combination that define each row uniquely. Yeah? So basically we can use these two to identify this table uniquely. Now, why didn't we use the district ID instead of the beach ID? So let's introduce beach number 4, let's say, and let's introduce as well, let's say district 1. Let's say that there is a 4th beach in district 1. This could be part of the evaluation. If we had another beach in district 1, beach 4, let's say, and you clean this beach 4 in, let's say, 2018. Look at the combination here. Now, let's examine this data. We've got district 1 in 2018, yeah? And if we go up here, we have 2018 and 1 repeating, yeah? So if we don't test it logically like this, we might do the mistake of assigning district as the second key part of the primary key that we want to use here. So that needs a lot of common sense. Instead, if you check the data for 4, you will never find that repeating, yeah? But you will find 2018 and 1 in district, you will find it up here, yeah, repeating. So we have eliminated as well the district ID from being a candidate for the primary key. So let's draw a line there as well. So we are left with these two, review year and beach ID. This is called, more jargon for you to learn, composite key. What is a composite key? It is a primary key made out of 2 or more fields. What we do now is we assign our primary keys, yeah? So as below we had with red primary key, now we're going to use red and write primary key, PK, and we will assign the primary key to this one as well, yeah? Now these just happen to be next to each other, yeah? The beach ID could have been down here, we still have to assign them like this, yeah? So here we have our primary key. So now we will end this lesson about the composite keys, and we will create a database based on these 4 tables here. And these 4 tables have primary key assigned proper, as well as we have for our review table the primary key. Let's move on to the next lesson, which is to create a database based on all of these tables.